Some college football analysts have wondered this week whether the mounting tally has been reflective of a drop-off from the Trojans' redshirt sophomore passer who entered the season as the Heisman Trophy favorite. USC coach Clay Helton has shown little worry. The guy who just shines the brightest when his back is against the wall is Sam, Helton said. The Trojans enter a critical stretch on their schedule amid a 6-day turnaround between their road opener at Cal and Friday night's matchup at Washington State on the Palouse. It is the first time the Pac-12 programs have met when both teams were undefeated through 4 weeks of the season. The Cougars also boast a passer capable of battling with Darnold. Falk, a strong-armed fifth-year senior, remains behind center. USC last faced Washington State in 2014. Since then, Falk has taken over as the starter in Coach Mike Leach's air raid offense and led the team to consecutive bowl appearances. Falk is among the top quarterbacks in the nation statistically, ranking number 1 in completion percentage, 76.9%, number 2 in touchdown passes, 14, number 5 in passing yards, 1,347 yards, and number 11 in passing efficiency, 171.57. A shootout could beckon. He's played in that system a long time, USC defensive coordinator Chauncey Pendergast said, and he knows it like the back of his hand. When USC has the ball. When Darnold was asked about some of his recent interceptions, he chalked it up to impatience. That might be. But the Trojans' recent rash of injuries has befallen some of the skill players surrounding the quarterback. I don't think anyone is 100% after these first 4 games, Helton said, laughing. Starting running back Ronald Jones was out against Cal because of a thigh contusion and a sprained ankle. Jones, who practiced this week, is expected to return against Washington State, forming a threatening backfield tandem with freshman Stephen Carr, who shouldered most of the carries last week in his absence. While Jones' return offered Darnold and the rest of USC's offense some good news, other top pass catchers might be out. Leading receiver Deontay Burnett was limited in practice with a shoulder injury. Burnett is expected to play, but the extent remains unknown. After Burnett took part in practice on Wednesday, Helton said he looked very capable of helping. But senior receiver Stephen Mitchell, whose 14 catches are the second most on the team, is doubtful for a second consecutive week because of a groin injury. Receiver Velus Jones is also questionable with a knee injury, and tight end Daniel Imitorba will miss a 4th consecutive game because of a strained hip flexor. Darnold will look to steady the group. He's mature, Leach said, just really mentally together for a guy his age. It won't be easy to amass yards against Washington State, which boasts a unit that ranks number 12 in the nation in total defense and number 1 in the Pac-12, allowing 262 yards per game. The Cougars are a deductive group led by defensive tackle Hercules Mataafa. I don't know if there is a better tackle for loss guy that we've faced, Helton said. He's a nightmare. When Washington State has the ball, most quarterbacks accumulate gaudy statistics and Leach's pass-happy offense. It involves a high volume of pass attempts and high percentage throws. That's one way to view Falk, the Cougars' signal caller. He's a dink-and-dunk type of guy. A lot of their stuff comes underneath, USC safety Chris Hawkins said. Pendergast pointed out that Leach's offense, though more often branded as an air raid, also closely resembles a West Coast offense because of the quick passing routes. But Falk is an especially potent triggerman, most agree, because of his arm strength and what Pendergast called an NFL skill set. The system he plays in may not ask him to push the ball down the field all the time, Pendergast said, but when they do ask him to do it, he's got the arm to push it down there. Falk relies increasingly on his running backs. James Williams, a redshirt sophomore running back, has caught a team-high 37 passes, while Jamal Morrow has snagged 13. In recent seasons, Washington State has relied more on its running game, easing some of the pressure on its quarterback. Last season, Leach called for a running play 35% of the time, an increase from a low of 24% in 2014. USC has readied to slow the Cougars' passing game. Against Cal, it started to use a dime package, a defensive formation that includes 6 defensive backs. In most cases, it has used a nickel package with 5 defensive backs on the field. When in the dime, it used Marvell Tell, a safety, as a de facto linebacker. It was a matchup to use against Cal, which often lined up 4 receivers last Saturday, but Pendergast added that it was a package his defense planned to use for the rest of the season.